Hey everybody, welcome back. Winter's finally here now. It's well, ish. But it's gonna be down to like -14 tonight, so not doing a whole lot outside, that's for sure. Anyways, we're going to try and get some carbs functioning properly today. I'm gonna be pulling the carbs out of the parts bike right over here. We're going to try and pull these dirty carbs out, rip them apart, get them cleaned up, and hopefully see if I can get this one working properly. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's a fuel delivery issue on this carb. So, I don't know. I can't seem to get that pilot jet passage cleaned up on this one. But we'll fart around with this other one and see if we have any success. So we'll pull some carbs apart and see what happens. Stay tuned.
All right, so got those old carbs off. I wanted to. I don't have high hopes. I started taking these off, and you can see the. You can't really. It's not pouring out anymore, but you see how it's like green. That's no bueno. You can all see the throttle blade is stuck. So this one could be nasty. Let's take a look. What do we think the odds are this slide even freaking comes out? Oh, hey, it moved. There's a bonus. That lift. It's a lovely shade of green. If you're wondering, this is what crappy gas with ethanol does to carbs. It's freaking terrible. I hate that stuff. Unfortunately, up here in Canada, we're really limited. I don't have a lot of choice. But we'll pull this apart. Let's see what the floats in the bowl look like. Oh, the smell does not come through on the camera. Be glad. Oh, this does not smell nice at all. All right, moment of truth. Let's see. Yeah, lovely shade of emerald, but it's not the worst I've seen. I don't have high hopes for that pilot passage being any clearer than the other one, but I guess we'll continue disassembly and throw her into the ultrasonic and see what happens. Always count your pilot jig or your idle air screw, so that's a half, 1 half, 2 turns out on this one. A little rubber washer comes out with the idle air screw. Make sure you don't lose that. Or it ain't gonna work. Yeah, it's plugged solid. Oh, what do you think this main jet looks like? Besides nasty. Into the ultrasonic it shall go. See if we can get that to chap out. So, where'd my punch go? 1 second. Couldn't see it for looking. Believe it or not, that's actually brass. Oh, everything is nasty, nasty. Surprisingly, that pilot jet actually feels clearer than the other ones did. Well, it's definitely not great, but slightly better than I expected. What more can a guy ask for, really? Really hoping to not have to pull the throttle blade apart, but I don't know. I guess we'll toss it in the Ultra and see how it goes. So I'm gonna throw this stuff in here, and we'll come back when she's done cleaning because it's noisy and annoying on the microphone when I got this thing running. So okay, we've had a good 40 minutes in the ultrasonic here at 50 degrees. So let's we're definitely a little cleaner. There's definitely a lot less of green in there now. Throttle blades haven't loosened up at all. So that's not exactly ideal. I think my pilot passage is still plugged in this one. It's not exactly clean, that's for sure. The throttle blade's freed up. The rest of this, however, I have no idea. So my biggest problem on these carbs, I don't know exactly where this pilot jet passage runs. It doesn't tie into the main jet. There's no hole across there. There should be a passage across to the idle air one. Maybe try some compressed air through here. Apparently guitar string works really good for getting into these passages. Unfortunately, I don't have any guitar strings at the moment. Much like everybody, I'm just trying to do this with stuff I've got in my garage. I don't have a bunch of specialized tools or anything like that here. I just kind of redneck it and make do with what I can find. I'm going to go find my blower nozzle, let the air compressor fill up with air, and then we will try some compressed air through some of these passages, see what we can do. Okay, so apparently my dumb brain forgot to turn on my mic when I was recording the next few sections. What I was doing here before what you're going to see next was going through doing a compression test and checking the valves, seeing if I had a stuck valve, because that carb was still not functioning quite the way I wanted it to. So there's going to be a little bit of a gap here, but that's all that kind of happened in the meantime. Hopefully I don't have to add any more of these as I'm editing, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so got the covers off. What we're looking at here. That's your cam chain on the back. That's the intake valve there. That's the exhaust valve there. And as we can see, I got the plugs out right now. So when we crank, we got movement there. We got movement there. Not a stuck valve. All right, investigation continues. All right, sorry, fans going here, but so yay. I'm not 100% sure. So we've got it's firing intermittently on both cylinders. So I'm kind of even more confused now. I got the other exhaust on, got that all sealed up, put the intake boots on just to see if that was going to make a difference. The only thing I don't have right now is the idle mixture setup. Near as I can tell from my research, that's not actually required for running these things. You can delete that, cap off the ports on the intake boots, and should be good. Making a mess and struggling. Two things I'm great at. I guess my mic died during that last clip, so when we continue on, it's next day. I got the compression tester. We'll continue from there. Okay, another day, another struggle. So I brought the compression test kit home from the shop. So I'm going to pop it onto this, check what my cylinders are. Okay, I'm going to pop these plugs out.
Mainly going to do the back one to start, just because that's the one that's giving me the grief. Yeah, I don't know if you won't be able to see that, but it has been firing. It is starting to darken up. If anything, it almost looks a little rich. But we shall see what we can see. Now, I don't need to pull that plug. I just want to crack it so it's not building combustion or compression there. So I haven't looked in the book yet to see what the actual compression should be, how many pounds, but we'll check. Ideally, this should be done on a warm up to operating temp engine. However, I don't want to fill my exhaust up with, or my garage up with exhaust first thing in the morning. I haven't even had my full cup of coffee yet. Okay, so key on, and we'll do some cranking. Yeah, so that cylinder maxed out at right around 90 psi. So, just for the hell of it, we'll see what the front one is, just to see if they're at least consistent across both cylinders. All right, do it again. Excellent. So we're running just about 120 in the front cylinder. There shouldn't be that much difference between them. Well, that's disappointing. That means I got a problem on this rear cylinder. Okay, I go check what the manual says where it should be, and we will be back. Okay, so I'm chalking it up to, like I said, not enough coffee yet. Kind of forgot when we were doing compression tests, you gotta have throttle pinned open when you're cranking the engine. Oops. So redo that. We're looking at 150 on the front cylinder. Standard is 156. So the front cylinder is good. Back cylinder is slightly lower. It's reading about 130, which is technically within spec. Minimum is 128. So I think what I'm going to do is get a little bit of oil in this back cylinder, lubricate the piston rings a little bit, see if the pressure comes up at all. If it does, then it's just either worn pistons, cylinder walls, rings, one of those three items. But probably not critical at this time, especially with this bike that's not going to get a ton of miles on it. This is going to be more of a showcase bike than a cruiser bike. I mean, I'm going to be driving it, but not to the extent that I would be driving any of my other bikes. We're going to see if I can find some oil in a squirt bottle and see if that makes a difference. Got a little bit of oil in the rear cylinder. We're going to redo our check here and see what we've got. Position so I can see it. Sort of. All right, throttle open, cranking. Oh yeah. Okay. So a little bit of oil in there. We're up to 150 psi, basically the same as the front. Okay, so we should have some top end work done. However, that's going to be down the road. So it's not immediately causing my intermittent misfire issue. Fuck. Okay, we'll see what we can figure out from here. I don't know. I'm squirreling. I'm impatient. So I don't know. It's running-ish. Idling, not really. But I'm feeling like that's a later me problem. Future me is going to hate past me. Anyways, I was just thinking I'm kind of brainstorming ideas, things I want to do on this bike. But I don't think I've actually really kind of gone over that with you guys yet. So let's take a look here. So I'm going to keep the original sort of seat. However, I'm going to be shortening it kind of in here, removing the second. This part back here, that's where the still is going to sit. And then I'm going to build some wooden saddlebags on the side here. They'll hold the bottles of moonshine. And then the tank, I haven't decided 100% what I want to do with the tank. This blue one over here is the one that I have for this bike, but it's got a really nice paint job on it, and I kind of don't want to screw that up. I may end up going with an aftermarket tank, or see if I can find a tank off of a 750. Then it gets rid of the electronic fuel reservoir, or reserve, whatever the hell it is. I don't know why they've got it on here anyways, but, and then I can just go to a manual petcock on there to control the fuel. I may, for simplicity's sake, eliminate the fuel pump as well if I go with the 750 tank, because then it can just gravity feed the carbs, and then it eliminates a lot of extra crap that I don't need. There's like this secondary tank that comes on the Viragos. So this is where your primary tank hooks up, and then it feeds this secondary tank, which then runs down and through and to the fuel pump on the other side, pump it back up to the carbs. A little unnecessary. I'm going to be doing a full custom electric harness on this. I'm going to remake the one that's on here just because I love overcomplicating things, but it's also going to simplify it down the road. I'm going to be running, where the hell are they? I found some really cool lights off of an old bus that we're restoring. Thing's sweet. So I'm going to be replacing these. I haven't decided if I'm getting a new lens or if I'm going to do an LED setup on the headlights. But what I'm going to do is a dual headlight setup, kind of like an off-road rally sport type look. Because I mean, if you're going back into the bushes to work on your still, I mean, it's probably not a paved road. So we're going to be replacing these with some dual sport tires. These original tires are not staying. I'm going to keep the rear wheel strictly because I'm also going to be fully enclosing this whole. I'm going to take this rear fender off of this parts bag. I'm going to meld it onto this one, and we're going to come right down to, probably 6 or 8 inches, probably about the axle height with the rear fender. And then I'm going to enclose all of this area here will be boxed in with copper as well. So that way you won't really see that wheel when it's back there. I may pull it off and paint it black or something. I haven't quite decided there yet. I'm going to keep the front wheel as it is because I like the spokes. They're kind of cool. Once again, with different tires on there. The stock signal lights will not be staying. I've got some, along with these headlights that I had here, I've also got some really nice vintage 60s taillight assemblies. So I'm going to be using 2 of these on the rear fenders as my brakes. I'll probably stack them one above the other. And then I've also got the amber signals as well. And then for the fronts, I will probably just tuck some high visibility LEDs up in there to make it visible from the front. Otherwise, that gauge cluster is going bye-bye. I may relocate the ignition. I haven't quite decided yet. It depends on space I've got up there. Handlebar cart controls will be getting simplified, cleaned up. I'm going to be removing a lot of the
safety features, the clutch switch, the side stand switch, all that stuff will be going away. Hazards. Who needs hazards? You know, it'd be the standard sort of stuff. We're gonna do brakes, update all the, you know, new lines on everything. Throttle cable and clutch cable seem to be pretty good, so I won't worry about those. Calipers, until I get some test drives on here, I don't know if the calipers need to be redone. I'll probably change the pads in them depending on how worn they are. Same thing with the back drum. Otherwise, it's not, a lot of it's just kind of staying as it is, other than the custom stuff. I haven't decided on paint yet. I would really like it if my side cover chrome wasn't all pitted up, but it is what it is. So we'll be doing something different to, I'll probably just end up sandblasting the chrome off and then repaint them. I'm not sure. Probably a black, just to contrast the gold and the copper. I'm going to keep the gold brass pieces on there that are there, just because they look nice with the copper as well. So anyways, we're going to, I'm going to start pulling some parts off of the parts bike, fenders, the seat backs. I want to build kind of a seat back for this thing as well, so a guy can kind of lean back a little bit. I'll probably get a little longer handlebars for this as well. Still lots to figure out, lots to go through, and I'm impatient and I do things out of order all the time. So I'm just going to carry on and start taking some stuff apart. See what we get done. Oh, hey, look at that. I do have a key. What's in the box? Okay, all right, look, we got a couple dirty, nasty spark plugs, a couple hose clamps, always handy. Their fuel filter, nice. A couple fuses, and look at this. The original toolkit. We'll go through that in a bit, see what the heck's in there. All right. In the meantime, we can pull this off now. If I can find my wrench that I just set down. Ugh. Does anybody else have this problem? You got a tool, you just had it, and then it disappears. Ugh. Like, really? There it is. Yeah, I know, a socket would be easier. As you learn, the more you watch this. I just really like the struggle, apparently. Do things we excel at. Making a mess. Struggling. kind of hold this in place and see sort of what I'm talking about with what I want to do here. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm envisioning. This is going to kind of tuck up in about here, and then we're going to run it down to somewhere in, I don't know if I want to go that high or if we keep it, maybe drop it down a little lower. I don't know, Tim would say drop it low. So I'm thinking something kind of in like that. And then I'll have to add some bracing to make it a little more solid. And then that'll all be getting covered in copper at some point. So that's sort of what I'm looking for in there. I'm going to do some more brainstorming here as to what we want to work on. And we'll grab some wiring diagrams. And we'll do some figuring. See if we can get going. Okay. Well, it's been an afternoon. Haven't got as much accomplished as I wanted to, but we did get some stuff accomplished. Got most of the wiring out of the bike now, so the original harness is way down there on the floor, garbage, whatever. We have stripped out the harness. We've kept the components that I need. Still going to need the igniter and to power the coil, send the signal that way. The rectifier. Got the neutral light. All the wires for starting the bike are still in place. We've got the solenoid is still hooked up. I've got all of this stuff is disconnected. I'm going to have to go through these and remove what I don't want. Keep what I do. I think I may be pulling this entire assembly off because I have a different start switch I'm going to use up by the gauge cluster. And I may wire in a different kill switch. Or I might just eliminate it completely and just run the key ignition, which is either staying up there or I may relocate it to somewhere else on the bike. So yeah, we're going to be stringing some wires, following a wiring diagram we found online for a simplified basic wiring system. So yeah, we've got the bike basically stripped down. Not much to see now. I'm just going to be pulling wires and hooking things up temporarily to make sure everything's working before I do anything finalized on the wiring. We'll probably call it for this video, I think. We'll have some more updates. Tim and I are going to be checking out a swap meet this Saturday, so hopefully I can find some cool stuff to add onto the bike here. Maybe get rid of some of the extra stuff I got here in the garage. We'll see what happens from that point. Catch y'all later.